Hello, welcome back. Tonight I will speak about a grimoire that I have written called the Grimoire of Asmodeus, or about Asmodeus. Well, the title of the grimoire is Asmodeus, who is the main character of the book. And to say, well, it is a grimoire, this book is a grimoire that goes around 200 pages, and to say a shorter grimoire, that tells, say, a part of the story of Asmodeus. I will say, well, this is a recording where I created a playlist where I speak about Asmodeus and the grimoire that I have written, all the way, or say, my own interpretation of Asmodeus, from my own perception or from my own understanding of him. So, well, it is for me as well, a thematic that it seems was something that I have worked on, but it is a new thematic as well. As you say, every time I choose a new character or a new thematic of my book, it is a new thematic for me as well, but that's the way I work as a writer, to say create a story around that character that represents that character that I am, of course, trying to understand as well. The element of understanding, or the element of the intellectual work, so well, the writer is an intellectual, it is an intellectual form of expression. So say, well, writing has different stages or different levels to it as well, so well, a writer already has somehow conquered many steps towards that place of a writer. Let's say it does need some type of preparation, as well of understanding of a thematic or understanding of a character. Let's say, well, the story is not enough, there is the need of the writer to give those extra qualities that to say and create that form of a book or a grimoire. And because it is a grimoire, of course, me as a writer, I have to work specifically as for a grimoire. So the grimoire is important part of the book, that it is a grimoire. And the grimoire, it's a thematic that has an older, more ancient origin, or a thematic that has some type of sacred or secret understanding or knowledge, as well as thematic of magic can come through as well. So, at the same time, it is not a manual. My book on Asmodeus, it is not a manual. It is not descriptive in the thematic of a manual. That's why I always explain what a grimoire is. It is written in hymn form. It is a literary work. To say it is fiction, say all my work is fictional work as a writer. And thematics, to say, are sometimes shrouded in mystery or shrouded in a higher type of understanding, or say it does not necessarily mean that the intellectual only moves on the higher level of something, that would be rude to say. There is no level in the element of the knowledge. At the same time, there are specific qualities or abilities that one has to be able to put through, in a certain way or in a certain manner or in a certain method to create something specific, To say, well, I have to know before, is it a novel, what I'm writing, is it what type of work I'm trying to bring forward. Then one moves on the analysis of the character. They say that is the most representative work or representative part that the writer has to do. And even if there are more characters in the book, one should always focus on the main character, because the storyline should not be lost, To say, for a great book, it's not necessarily to have many characters. That's not true. Or the book does not have to be boring if it's only one character. It all depends on the quality of the writer to create that feeling of the story as well. The work is a little bit, to say, transcendental, because it creates an effect that I cannot say. Well, the writer creates an ambience, and that ambience has a certain effect, It has a certain atmosphere that comes with it, that the writer tries to recreate or to reform in some way or another through words. So we say, well, how one can poetically, or in which form I want to represent that ambience, what elements I'm including in that ambience. Let's say all those elements consecutive or similar or contradictory to the character, and why it's that for what I want to show in the character. As I've said, the character is to say the main focus point, as well as to say the most important, as I've said, is the story. It is not the character. But in general, when we speak about Asmodeus, we say the thematic is, as I've said, not necessarily speaks about this type of knowledge, about how to write the book, but it is a higher type of knowledge, or it needs a higher type of understanding as well. So what we can say about Asmodeus is, well, Asmodeus is king, or that has that element of deity. We see it in his name too. We have the Asmo and Deus, the element of Deus, no? So the element of Dei, the god or the gods, or the element of deity, it is part of the element of Dei. It is something correlated to the past. Say, well, how far past? And the thematic of Asmodeus is very far past. It's something to say it is very old, very ancient, no? The other parts of Asmodeus is the color, or the kaleidoscope. We have this in the word asmo as well. It almost speaks about something like a breath, or something for a short moment, or something that moves fast, or something that recreates or reforms itself, or the element of the air comes very much in the element of asmo, There's a clear symmetry and similarity in his name as well. It is a very poetic, lyrical name. It's a very beautiful, unique name, Asmodeus. We have the element of the vocals. We say vocal. Then we have consonant, vocal. Then we have consonant, vocal, consonant. It repeats. It has very beautiful patterns. If one wants to look at the number, it's almost like 1, 2, 3, and then it goes to 2, 3, 4, something like that, or moves to 1, 2. It's quite interesting to see as well, because it has some type of symmetry. At the same time, it has a change too as well. So the element of change always comes when it comes to Asmodeus, or elements that are very delicate, very delicately formed. The element of very little, or something that can be in even a way insignificant, but full of significance. It's like how it can be, but if it's insignificant, it means it's without significance, no? Like without importance, no? But to say, well, it has to have something very little. It can look or seem insignificant, not important, but is full of meaning, full of sign or signs. It can speak a lot. It offers signs. It offers something. It is almost like another language. To say, of course, Asmodeus has a different language, but what it transmits is that element of, one can, of course, when one reads the grimoire, has used very specific metaphors, very important and strong metaphors to represent that power, that equilibrium, at the same time, that element of change that comes through Asmodeus, to say, well, the words are very important especially in a grimoire, especially in a hymn form. Now, the element of the consonant, the element of the vocals, the element of repetition, the element of, say, what the word represents, what's the meaning, what's the content, the element of the metaphor, this metaphor, the metaphor, something elevated, something highly. So it is connected to, a form of language that it is poetic. It is the way Asmodeus speaks. It is the way he represents himself. It is lyrical, it is poetic, it shows the level of intellect of Asmodeus. It is not a dry intellectual at all. It is very soft breeze, full of color, kaleidoscopic type of experience. It is full of significance, full of meaning, even in something that looks small, tiny, or insignificant. We can take the element of the ants, Ameise. In German, or in Romanian, furnica, or the furnica is the house, where more ants live. That's very much element of Asmodeus, very much element of the insect world, or the element of the birds, to say even the little birds, So the element which is little, or the element of the sands, but the element repeats itself with always a little variation that almost seems almost like too little, too insignificant, but that change makes it unique. It's that element too. So it is something very special, very unique, very much connected to the element of nature and what one finds in the nature. So I would say we have the element of the material when it comes to Asmodeus. I say it is important what color, what material. Is it sticky? Is it more clay? Is it soft? Is it hardened or not? No, all these differences, all these almost to say, well, even in a microscope, or the element of the micro, no, or the element of something intricate, combining together as the element of the ants, this part of their house, the corridors and how they have built this inside, it's very intricate. It's very much Asmodeus, the element of intricate. As I said, the kaleidoscope is intricate. And the element of the colors too, they come very beautiful through, it's almost like the color that goes through light, and it shines, that color, it shines through that light as well. And then we have the element of the black, which the black of Asmodeus is the most special black that I ever described in a grimoire. It is very important element of the grimoire as well. It's something that I worked the text, say, going around this thematic very much, and then we have two elements of the nature, the element of change, almost like a cold rain in the summer, or the element of the clouds, then we have, as I've said, the element of birds. It's very connected, very important when it comes to Asmodeus. And there is a certain simplicity as well, a certain serenity or certain presence as well that Asmodeus carries. It's a certain clarity, or a certain almost one can represent it as an aha moment, or something that comes through at a specific time in a moment of silence too, that idea or that spark or that element that we say, like if I think of a black clay, we say, well, it does not have a spark, the material itself, but it can create in my mind, or it can give me an idea, or I can create something with it as well. It is much like the contradictory elements, and then something works, or something comes from that. Another insect that's very much connected to Asmodeus is the Käfer in German. It's like the black Käfer is like a black, larger insect that has, say, total black, and has this almost like a claws in the front, black as well. It's like a beetle, but a big one, darker one, strong one. That is very much Asmodeus, or that element of the black, or what that represents. And I think another part that is beautiful about the Grimoire of Asmodeus, that it is very poetic. It is, to say, almost like a red wine, very deep, very revigorating, and very almost like sensual feeling of a red wine drank at the seaside. So you have something very dark and purple, and very almost plummy and juicy, and even like could be like cherries or something, that's very summerly. It's something very tasty, very good, but enjoyed at the breeze, or at the evening, or the light, or the darkness, something of the evening. Those two elements, the wine comes from hot sun, and it takes time, and it's, very different element. And then we have the element of the night, and this combine these two elements, which are contradictory, but very beautiful, very similar as well, They say, well, they are contradictory, but still similar. They are elements that are exactly like that the two different puzzles, but put together, they fit very well. It is that element too, that combine of different things, or different elements together. So we have as it in its name, we have 1, 2, it's like a repetition, and then we have almost like 1 again, and then 3, and then 4, 5 repeats exactly, like 5 back. It is like a game. It's like when you play on the keyboard and you try to make a melody, and it's like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it goes back, or that element of the play. In the other recordings, I have spoken too about the way he appears, the way he looks, the element of the mask on the face, or the element of the bird. It's very much represented in his costume, as well as the intricate blacker part of the body piece on his upper body. It is almost like a very intricate, made from some type of leather or material type of armor. It's not heavy, it's not iron or metal. That protects the chest in the intricate, very beautiful, embellished, with a lot of patience, with a lot of time. Beautiful kaleidoscopic element too of the symmetry in the same time. So like the kaleidoscope, it shows us many colors and many different, but is it symmetrical? Is it? Yes, it is symmetrical. It's like, well, it has both elements. That's why I say their elements represents themselves too in the story of Asmodeus. So they all fit together as well. That's why I know it is true for me. It might make sense, or it has a part of the logic as well. Something like it has to fit as well, So the part of the insects or the birds connected to water or to lakes is very much element of Asmodeus too. So, well, because they are two very different things. The element of the air, the element of the bird, combined with the element of the water. It can be element of the water combined with the element of the earth. We say, well, it is the element of the clay as well, as I've said. So it does fit. Even if you take something that's very far away, but you bring it here and you take the other part, it does fit. It's almost like when you have a piece of paper and you cut some type of a snake, or a spiral, and say, once you open it, it has a different shape, it has a different form. It is not plain, It has that spiral, the element of that element. So it's like from something comes something even more. It's the element of elevation too when it comes to Asmodeus. So as I said, if I say we have the element of intellectual, one has to understand it is not that only. Or if I take the element of art, we'll say it is not that only. It does not take from the importance of the art of that, but it is not that only, So the combination of things too. So if I have only earth, only the sand, it's like I can play with it, but it's like I need a second element to be able to combine it. So I'll say I take water, and then I put water in the sand or in the element, and then I get a clay, the element of clay. It's very Asmodeus as well. Something that lingers, something that remains, something that is of importance. Then we have the element of non-movement. So to observe something, you have to be in some type of non-movement or less movement. That reveals to that moment, or it gives you a special attention on something. It's the element of learning as well. There is a slowing down or a stop too as well, a stop movement. So when I see Asmodeus, he always is present, but this, as I say, does not move. It is the element of non-movement. It is the element of the presence. Other elements we have too, of course, the high altitude element of the bird always speaks about the element of high altitude. So we say if we have a castle, it will be a very high altitude castle. If we have a window, it is of a high altitude, where the bird is able to enter through the element of the window. To say, the birds have, say, a different life than humans. So they live in the air. They are able to reach places that we are not able to reach. We cannot fly, and we cannot fly as high, or we cannot fly as the birds fly. To say, even birds have their own secrets, or even birds have their own intelligence. It is a very beautiful element of the birds. The birds include many different aspects. That is, the element of the flight, or the element of the air, of the element of the window, or something entering from the outside inside. It's almost like Asmodeus appears in this form, of that element of the bird, the element of the flight as well. So it's very fast, I would say immediate, it is element of the bird. say can reach very high altitude and very high speeds, no? So well, you know, there's the bird who flies the fastest, no, in the world, no, can reach 390 kilometers per hour, no. It is, say, birds fly very fast, no, or can fly very long distances as well, and long places or high places with high altitude, or live at high altitude as well. Say they have the element of the cloud, or the element of the cliffs, or the element of higher mountains, or the element of the cave, or very dry environments. So well, the higher you are, the hotter it is, no, depending if there is very strong sun, of course, no, and colder as well, no. So it does change. Everything changes when it's the higher pressure, it's the higher temperature. It can be hotter or colder depending on the region as well. So I would say there is the element of elevation, as I've said, but say that's not only a symbol. So the elevation speaks to about the elevation of the intellect, or elevation of something through learning, through observing, through the element of non-movement. You say learning is not necessarily, you say, yes, we learn through movement, but the element of the non-movement, the element of observation or high concentration, no? That's part as well. It is simple. So we are walking outside, no? You are walking alone outside, and you have a specific tempo. You move a specific, not too fast, and then you see something that you stop and you observe. That's very much element of Asmodeus. So say he is showing you something, he is teaching you something, and it may seem insignificant or something little, no. Let's say, but it has a higher meaning. You say it is element of him. The element of the birds too. So well, there are certain times of the day where birds are most active, which is early morning, or it is the evening before the dark, no, comes. That's two elements of the birds. And you say, well, they are seen through the day, no, and they appear in an early morning as well. It is two more element of the night. If I was to describe the bird, for me, the bird is more element of the night. In the same time, two, of course, element of the day. So the birds too needs the sun, no, the sunlight, or is that element when they are outside. Then we have the element of the nest or of the egg, which is connected to the bird, no. When I say the intelligence of the bird, the intelligence of that part of beauty to what it is to be a bird, no. It is very honorable. We say, well, the element of the bird, almost say, well, it's automatic if one is able to understand and learn more from that. It's almost like, gives more meaning to the thematic of Asmodeus as well. So I say it is connected to biology as well, or to the element of nature. So I say, yes, the insects are very little, no. So if you take a bee or any type of flying insect, no, they are little, but they have high intelligence. It is not to say it's little, it's stupid. No, it can be opposite. That's what Asmodeus is teaching, that learning or truth does not come necessarily from, yes, 1 + 1, only the line. The lines do not teach you everything, no? You say, yes, it is the base of learning, but once get elevated on the element of learning, one can find meaning in the element of the contrast, or the contrast elements too as well. And it is a very beautiful exercise, no? So it is the element of beautiful. It's very important. If it is not beautiful, it is not element of Asmodeus. To say too, Asmodeus is king, prince, everything. It is beautiful. It is exceptional, no? That element. To say if it is intuitive, it is not only intuitive, it is highly intuitive, no? So we have the two, and say, well, when we speak about the element of the bird, of course we have the element of the beautiful, no? What else is like so beautiful, no? The element of the birds. It is the element of serenity. So the presence of Asmodeus is serene. It is very full with meaning. At the same time, there is no need to necessarily jump up. It's that element of the passive. Then we have the element of the blue, or say a very special blue, like the most beautiful blue, no, azure, the color blue. We say in Romanian albastru, the blue has the color white inside. It comes from alb. In Romanian alb is white, and albastru, it is blue, because it goes, the white alb goes to astro, it goes to the stars, it goes to the blue part, to the sky, albastro. Almost like when you say blue, you think of the sky, or of the sea, no? Albastro, or of the stars. So it is the connection to the cosmos. So Asmodeus is very much that element too. Something that it is not from here, something unique, something special. Something extraordinary. No, it's almost, it gives the extraordinary, it gives that extra to the ordinary. You say, well, nothing is ordinary, no? Depends how we see it, no? We say everything carries the element of beauty. You say, well, we have the element of snake. It is beautiful. It is a creation. It is a perfection of that animal as well. It has very beautiful everything, no? It has a very high intelligence as well, or high sensibility as well. It's very successful, no? It's very extraordinary as well. The element of the color, or the different intricate, or the patterns, very much Asmodeus, or the element of total black. So the black of Asmodeus is the blackest black. It is almost like the opaque black, or it comes in the book, as I said, from many different metaphors. I think the Grimoire of Asmodeus is very beautiful. As I've said, even it does not have too many, say 200 pages. No, it's like a more little or middle size of a grimoire, but it is like full with meaning. It exemplifies even what Asmodeus is teaching, to say that something does not have to be much to be of value, or something does not have to be what we understand for the element of higher, or higher honor, or the higher altitude. No, it's like the beautiful meaning that comes from that too. It's part of the teaching of Asmodeus. Thank you so much for listening. Of course, I invite you to read Grimoire of Asmodeus. There's a link in the description box that brings you direct to the book, as well with other grimoires, other books that I have written. And there's the playlist of Asmodeus with the different recordings that I made on him, and you can listen from the beginning as well, or different recordings. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, bye.